flow. And our viewers actually as well, when Namiro clicked onto some of the aerodynamic packages that we had there as well, were very, very excited to see some of the add-ons and changes that were there as well. So we'll get that into a little bit. But yeah, it really must have been a bit maybe tedious at times, would you say, to really kind of get down to that perfect shape? Yeah.
Yeah. And then sometimes it'll push you in a direction, maybe like, oh, I want to keep this angle or this brake on the body a little tighter, but maybe it needs to be a little bit fuller to keep that air attached, and then you start to work with that and develop that and make it look nice. And it's tedious but fun. I enjoy that kind of work.
There's a balance to everything, as they say, right? You just got to kind of
certainly
find
is
it, which is absolutely. Well, we're so honored and privileged to be able to bring this new updated, new generation of Volvo VNL into American Truck Simulator. And Nimo is running through some options here in the garage, and the chat is going absolutely crazy. I'll tell you that.
I'm having a good time
seeing
here,
the options. And Nimo is having a great time as well. He's just rolling through it.
I just let you guys talk, talk all the information and all the extra stuff. Right. And I'm playing with the game, like.
Let's delve a little bit into it, because I can tell that the chat is obviously excited to kind of see what options we have. I've had about 1,000 people tagging me for the color red on the truck. It's a very popular color right now for the truck to be in, apparently. So let's delve into a little bit. Oscar, maybe you could run us through some of the major kind of points and changes that players can expect to see in this truck, and what kind of options they have in American Truck Simulator.
Yeah, I think before we start, I actually have a question. What does VNL stand for? Maybe Ian or Jason can fill us in on that.
That's a good question, yeah.
It's a great question.
That's a good question. Ian, you've been here longer than I have, right?
Guys,
yeah, a little bit longer. Not too long.
Chad, as you can see, these guys are watching at each other when they're talking together, because they're actually sitting next to each other.
No, but if you
give away the secret.
So there's your current trucks. We have the VNL, which is what we see on the screen here. And that's the long haul. The L stands for long haul application, and then VNR is our regional truck. So it is a little bit shorter overall, shorter hood and everything like that. And then the history goes back further than I know, but I know when this launched, it was known as the VN series, and I can only guess, unless Ian knows a little bit more than that. That was back in 1996, I think. That was a precursor to the one that you had on the screen when we first joined the stream. That's the extent of my knowledge on that one.
That's about what I know as well. So
I hope you got your answer there, Oscar. Maybe the chat learned something new as well.
I guess V stands for Volvo, maybe. N stands for North America. That's just a guess. So
sounds about right.
We'll run with that.
Okay, so that's the new definition, guys. All right. Anyway,
you work for Volvo Trucks North America now, or what, Oscar?
I decided naming now, so come to me.
Put that on the CV. It's good.
Should we start with the options for the different cabins, maybe?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
feel free to give the instructions.
Yeah. So of course we have the day cab. That's the VNL 300. And I think we have this available both with tandem axles and a single rear axle as well, which we kind of see quite often with like DHL or UPS hauling those 28 feet trailers, I believe. Yep. And then this is the 740, VNL 740 mid-roof that we're looking at. And then obviously the flagship is the 860. That's the biggest one. I don't actually know how many inches is this. How long is this sleeper?
This one is 80 inches, isn't it? I can't remember precisely the number. Yeah.
Have to look up the stats on that as far as the exact length, but
we're from design. We don't do math all that much. No.
It's a big truck. We'll say that. It's
a big truck. Yeah. It's the biggest truck. Yeah.
I mean,
it is our longest sleeper.
It's the biggest one that we have. I mean, it's pretty awesome. The space inside. I mean, just compared to some like European trucks, and I think it's just huge. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I
And then you
see.
can
Like you
see,
have a whole lounge at the back there.
yeah. So I mean, that was something that was a feature that we launched. I think, let's see, when was that? Maybe 1997 or something like that. But yeah, that was kind of that and some other key things that we have is kind of shows off the commitment that we try to have to the overall comfort in the cab for the driver. So that's a big feature that was maybe a risk at the time, but it paid off pretty well and seemed to be pretty popular for a while. So having that dinette that we call it, and then throughout the interior on this thing, we were just talking before we started the stream that we've got this orange accent color that we have in the door panels and the seats and some of the stitching on the steering wheel and even the seat belts. And it's kind of a nod to the safety element that we have with that seat belt. So we took the safety of the seat belt, which Volvo as an overall corporation was the one who invented it back in the 50s. We turned it into an aesthetic detail to kind of show that off. So it's really cool on this truck to have those kind of elevated little small thoughts and almost like Easter eggs from the previous generation, and start to find some of those the more you play around in here.
No,
That's
absolutely.
pretty outstanding.
I was going to say, it really complements the different accents there and the colors, and it looks really great with the seatbelts, with the kind of the orange, the signature orange seatbelt, should I say, with the trim there as well, which looks really nice. I actually really like that, and obviously makes it stand out above the rest. And looks like we've got a few other options here as well. We've got the standard and the touring and the limited. Oh, I like to see that one as well.
So you'll see trim pieces around the interior change, and I think we can change the seat as well. So you can choose between leather and red cloth. You've got the standard colors that you kind of expect, the darker grays, I guess.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of options in this truck for seating. Actually, I think we've got like 7 total. I think that's reflected in here. I mean, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. And there's a wide range of features and things as you go up on those as well, like different features for comfort for the driver, lumbar supports and suspension and all that kind of stuff is varies as well.
Yeah, I think there are also options that we put in for floor mats. Maybe you can take a look at that.
Let's have a look at this. Floor mats here on the front there, right? There you go.
There we go. Awesome.
Look at that. Wow.
There's that, we call it the migration pattern, is something that you'll see kind of consistently throughout the interior. So you see it on the underneath the seats in that dinette. And it's actually on like the rubber floor mats, and the top tray on the instrument panel has that same kind of pattern. So really cool to have that consistency across, and we developed it for either carpet or for rubber components and things like that. Just again, kind of a detail that you run into as you start to explore around inside of here.
That's really awesome to see, Nick. I guess a big point behind that would be to say, like, hey, you recognize this pattern is Volvo, and it's kind of those little, patterns are everywhere, and it makes it unique and stand out from the rest, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of something that you don't have on other ones, and it tells you what the brand is and kind of relates to other parts of the cab. That's
fantastic. That's really, really cool.
Yeah, and I see you got the cup holder in there, which is awesome.
Got to have your coffee.
Always.
It's functional.
Functional,
yeah. Yeah, and that one's pretty cool because that actually you can move in the truck. That can move around on that engine tunnel tray there. So that little rail system there. If you don't like where the cup holder is, you can move it around, find a better spot for it, or add more of them. So it's kind of a unique feature we haven't seen in any cars either. I mean, someone in the chat's probably gonna throw something up there like a reference, but but certainly in the trucks, that added flexibility is something pretty unique to our brand.
See, no, it's great to see as well.
Drinks at a time, you're good.
Yeah.
Exactly. The more the merrier, as they say. Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. No, well, I gotta say,
Oh,
the
this is
interior looks really fantastic.
this is also new, right? We have, because you guys have the
you know,
defrost option on your front windows, right? So we can now
yes,
choose to either have it or not. That's cool. And that's for melting the ice in the winter, right? Of the window.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. The windshield wipers usually just force the snow or ice to the sides, and then that'll melt it.
Ah, that makes
Again,
sense.
all
I
these
was
little
always
things look
wondering,
great.
I was always wondering why is it only on the sides and, not
Yeah.
through the middle. That makes sense. You have to use your windscreen wipers.
Yep. To unstick them. Absolutely. Well, I got to say the detail looks fantastic, and I imagine a lot of the work in here that we're seeing in American Truck Simulator wouldn't have been possible without, you guys working with us at Volvo Trucks North America. And maybe Oscar, you could quickly just go through a little bit about the process of kind of how that cooperation was and working to get these details correct.
Yeah, so I think the whole cooperation started, let's say, late 2020. That was when we first reached out to Trucks North America, and then so we started getting some 3D files from you guys. That was massive help for us. So that's how we try to get the truck as accurate as possible. And then
massive
of course
3D files too, right?
massive 3D files. Yeah, we just got so many different configurations, so much detail. Yeah, it was of a massive help. And then I think we, as a team, there were 3 visits to the US. The first one was to the customer center in Dublin, Virginia. I think that was the first trip was for sound recording. So we arranged a trip in 2022, last year in March to do sound recordings. And then I think just 3 months later, another team went over and did some photographs, some more 3D scanning of different options available for the trucks that might not have been available in some of the 3D files. So we got more information. And then just 2 months ago, I think, Ian, we met with you over at Greensboro, North Carolina, and that's when we started the approvals process for the truck. And that's something we were talking about. It's pretty unusual for us, especially, to have a company so invested and interested in making sure that the truck is exactly right. We spend quite a lot of time back and forth, making sure the truck looks exactly right. We were talking about the chassis fairings, just a little bit of the line looks a little bit different. We spent a lot of time getting the interior colors correct. So yeah, that took a little while, but I think it's absolutely worth it. Everyone will be able to tell when they get their hands on this truck for themselves. It's probably almost true to life truck, and thank you so much for being a part of this, supporting us, and really for your attention to detail.
100%, man. We appreciate it as well, and it was fun to work back and forth and like you're saying, get this vehicle to be as close to reality as we could.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a whole new level of excitement for us, right? Like just to see it put in the game like this, and then we're getting excited about details that we'd almost kind of forgotten about for a second there, and it's like, wow, this is awesome. So that was a whole lot of fun, even the little bit that I was going back and forth with you, Oscar. It's just great.
Yeah,
it turned out awesome.
Yeah, it did turn out really nice.
Yeah, and I think we really
games. Yeah.
We really like this 25th anniversary livery that you guys had.
Yeah, it looks really, really good. It's kind of almost got a bit of like a retro look to it. You incorporated there like the orange accent again, like the seatbelt there in the logo as well, which is a really nice design. I really love the look of that. That's really, really nice, especially on the blue there. Looks fantastic. And I know
there's also a matching livery for a trailer, I think.
The trailer, yeah.
Yeah, we can probably show that a little bit
trailer.
later on.
Oh, yeah.
We will definitely get into that for sure. I know a few people in the chat were asking about because I noticed to do obviously with the aerodynamic packages there, we have the flow below. I'm not sure if either Oscar or one of you guys would be able to answer a little bit more about that. They're asking a few questions about that in the chat.
Yeah, so the flow below thing, we've just recently gotten the license for it. I think about 2 months ago, we finally inked an agreement with them so we can offer the flow belows, which is a very popular option I've seen on a lot of US trucks nowadays. So it's obviously it complements the entire aero package on the VNL. They call it the drive wheel fairings, I believe. So it kind of just seals up the gaps that are created between the two axles, just smooths the air over it. And it also comes with the aero wheel covers. So we have them in chrome, in plastic, I believe, and also in the same paint color as the truck. Yeah, so that's a new addition that comes with this truck.
Fantastic. Yeah, no, it's great to have that alongside. And so many options for our players as well, from interiors to all the little customizations you can make as well. You can really make this truck your own and what is best suited for your trucking needs. And that goes, I imagine, the same for real life as well. I imagine there's a lot of customers who come to Volvo asking for specific things and customizations on their truck suited for their businesses as well. And I imagine you guys have a whole catalog of accessories and stuff that they can change as well to really suit their needs as well. So it's really great to be able to kind of translate that over here to American Truck Simulator as well. And again, our communities, everyone that's been watching the chat so far, over 1,800 of you watching from around the world, are very, very excited indeed to see all the little details and work that's been put in on this Volvo VNL, and very excited to get a closer look for it themselves. So I'm not sure, Oscar, was there anything else you wanted to highlight looking at around here in the garage right now?
Maybe we can look at all the different aero features. I guess that's the signature part of the truck. So
let's do it.
When we start with the front bumper, maybe we can see that the front of it, I don't know, is there a term for that? Air dam or something like that to guide
for the
air
opening there underneath the main grill?
Yeah, and no, maybe just the curved structure that kind of extends
underneath
below the fog lights. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah. We do refer to those as kind of the finishing off aero panels for the bumper, and we basically took a curve from engineering files and from aero test files and smoothed it out and adjusted it, and again worked back and forth just to get that air to kind of hit the bumper, attach, and then roll underneath, and stay as attached as possible. Some trucking companies will try to push the air around to the side. For our construction and form of our truck, it was more efficient to carry a little bit of air underneath the truck. It's just for performance-wise, what tested the best.
Yeah, that looks pretty nice. I like the whole front look of it. It's pretty rounded. It looks clearly aerodynamic, and that's form and that's also function. The headlights, especially the signature, you call that the Thor signature or something like that. The design of that L.
Yeah, we refer to it like a V shape, and a lot of development went into the headlamps and trying to get a DRL, like the daylight running light. To have that nice signature shape, so when you see the vehicle coming at you down the road, you can certainly identify it as a Volvo.
Yeah, it's definitely very striking.
You can see it on the European trucks as well, and it's really cool because all of the lighting on this truck, we just jumped straight to making everything LED across the board. I don't think there's a single incandescent bulb on here, so you got a lot of long-term durability, and that goes for inside and outside. And these headlamps are really awesome. I mean, we saw them being kind of done alongside like some I think Porsche and Audi lamps and things like that. So it's really cool to see kind of on par in some ways with that. I mean, it's super cool. So all these lights everywhere, LED, and then we've got I think Ian did a really awesome job with all of the details on the lights, and even like the running lights down the side that you've got on there on the chassis fairing. Pretty slick.
Yeah, also all LED.
Nice.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah, it's really outstanding. I think if we put on the bright work package on the chassis fairings, that will make it stand out even more. Maybe Namiro, could you try to do that? Just the chrome on the chassis fairings.
Chassis fairings.
No, the side
Might
skirts.
might be the little dot right behind the front wheel, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe that might be the lights.
These.
No, not this one. This is just the color of the lights. I think the one slightly behind that. That's the door steps. Yeah, this one. Yeah. You can go for the last one.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you've got the
there we
bright
go.
work package. Yeah.
Awesome.
And a lot of our customers, they really enjoy having, a lot of the bright work on the truck and
Yeah.
kind of giving that reflective quality to the truck. And it really helps out to have this little strip inside of the area right above the lower and upper steps, because it kind of helps protect the paint. And a lot of these guys will wear boots for the driving and getting around in certain weather conditions, and yeah, it kind of helps protect the paint in those areas.
Yeah, so I think that's pretty uncommon nowadays on aero trucks especially. You don't see this much chrome, but I like chrome personally, so that's fantastic.
And this part is also like new or like unique to this truck as well, right? These like corner deflectors.
This,
I-
yeah,
I-
the
I-
A-pillar,
Yeah.
the mirror covers, I
yes.
guess.
Yeah, but the windscreen has a little bit of wrap to it. If you're looking down from a top view, and the wind kind of coming off the side of the windscreen gets caught in what we call them like turning vanes, and it gets caught in that little area and helps push it along the side of the truck instead of keeping it shooting outboard. It kind of catches it and helps it wrap and return to the side of the vehicle.
Yeah, I
Fantastic.
see also,
Games, isn't it?
also there are also the chassis fairing extenders, the rubber skirts at the bottom of the truck. Yeah, so
Yep, and that's just that just helps keep air from entering in that area. And also the air that's kind of wraps underneath the bumper, it helps keep that channeled just all the way to the rear of the vehicle.
But that must make such a big difference when it comes to it, when you think about it, like all those little gaps and everything. The more that you can kind of cover up and keep the aerodynamic flow of the air moving past it, the better it is for the efficiency of the truck fuel. And all those little numbers add up, right?
They certainly do. Definitely
Yeah. And in the long run, how much money that could be saving, for the truck owners or for their businesses and stuff like that, which obviously, makes it so much more appealing to them as well, and better for the economy of the truck as well, which is obviously on a lot of people's minds these days, obviously with how things are. And it's great to see that Volvo trucks, North America are really implementing these things and thinking about those kind of designs. And, they're really smart. They're really, I got to say, they're very, very smart and very good looking as well. Again, talking about that balance, I imagine it can be very hard to find to do both, to kind of keep that image of Volvo trucks, and all the things we know about it on the road and how it looks and the way it's shaped, and kind of bringing that to today's age. And again, the chat's going absolutely, I don't know if the right word, bonkers for it. Absolutely. They really, really love it. They really do. They're loving
great.
all the options and
Awesome.
the design. Yeah, they're very, very excited as well. And of course, we're very excited as well.
6 a.m. Leaving home. You know, I love this feeling. Smell of the road in the morning. Color of the dust cloud behind my trail. The deep voice of the mighty beast I'm driving. All that weight and responsibility I got hanging behind me. This is what we are.